How would you like to 10x the number of people who visit your website? Well, our guest and DV Financial's founder, Art Dinkin, did that in 1 year. And he's our guest today on The Real Finfluencers. Wait. Before we dive into the conversation with today's guest, welcome to The Real Finfluencers, a podcast born from our original video series spotlighting financial professionals who are using video to grow their business and their influence. Here's something you should know. Most of these guests aren't Idea Decanter clients. They've built their digital presence from the ground up, and they're here to share exactly how they did it. I'm your host, Laura Garfield, co-founder of Idea Decanter, and my goal is simple: help you discover strategies you can actually use, steal what works, get inspired, and find your own unique brand of finfluence. Now let's get into it. Art, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Laura.
I am thrilled that you're here, and in full disclosure, Art is an Idea Decanter client. And a lot of the advisors we feature on this series are not, but Art had such a compelling story that I wanted to get him on the series and have him share his insights. So thanks for being here, Art. And why don't we start with what inspired you to dive into video in the first place?
Well, that's a great question, because the answer is honestly Idea Decanter, but a little more roundabout. I was at a conference in October of 2023. I don't go to very many conferences, but I thought as long as I was there, I would just try to fill up as much CE as I could. And there was an 8 a.m. Friday morning CE class on different modes of communication and the ways different generations communicate. I had no idea that CE, 1 hour of CE would change how I market my practice, but because I thought it was the same story financial advisors have been hearing for decades. At least I've been hearing it for at least 20 or 30 years, that the greatest transfer of wealth is just about to come. And are you prepared to talk to your clients' children? But what was unique about this session was you guys talked about different generations communicate differently. And I started thinking about my teenage children and my children who are in their early 20s who use platforms like Snapchat and texting to do most of their communicating, where I would rather pick up the phone or write an email and have a face-to-face conversation. And I realized I don't know how to communicate as a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old at this point, barely know how to do it as a 40 or 50-year-old. So, Idea Decanter ended up being a good match for me. And Idea Decanter is the one that said the way to really get your message across these days is through a short form video. And I decided to give it a try.
For financial advisors out there thinking like, am I supposed to get on TikTok? I think the answer is you don't have to be, because a lot of compliance won't even allow advisors to be on TikTok, even though that's where the younger audiences definitely hang out. One statistic that has stunned me, but sort of proves that video is making inroads in all generations, is that more than a third of the audience of nearly 5 billion active monthly users on YouTube are Gen Xers and baby boomers. So video is becoming a thing, not just to figure out how to communicate with the kids.
That's interesting you say that. Just this morning, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and we were talking about how television used to be, network television used to be your family's entertainment. And we were talking about how neither one of us watches network television anymore. We're either watching something streaming, but we get a lot of our content about our hobbies, our interests, and what's on our mind by searching YouTube, whether it's, how to fix my refrigerator to, how much should I be putting in my 401k? There's a lot of people who don't Google things anymore. They look for a YouTube video.
Well, speaking of YouTube videos, let's take a look at your YouTube channel where I have your shorts pulled up. So, which sounds funny. Your shorts are pulled.
As long as they're not pulled down, I guess we're okay.
We're not depantsing you here today, Art. Your short form videos are pulled up. So this kind of gives the audience a brief look at kind of all the content you're creating. And I organized this with the most popular one at the top. If only market timing actually worked.
Yeah. It's a super simple concept, right? I mean, people all the time buy low, sell high. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. But that is incredibly difficult to doing it. And which is why we as a firm just don't even try to time the market. It's about time in the market. And but we just did this video's what, 28, 29 seconds, and 11,000 people have viewed it. And some of those people then check us out on our website and, go see other things. And what I think has made our video so effective is consistency. We publish a video every week, and we've been doing it now for a while. So we're showing up in people's feeds.
So, Art, I think a piece of the secret to your success story is this very recent foray into some paid ad campaigns. And on YouTube, I know in October of 2025, you spent somewhere in the range of $100 on a paid boost for your videos and got more than 10,000 eyes on your content.
We were doing some paid advertising on YouTube because we initially set off with a planned ad campaign where we had a call to action, and we recorded special videos for these. So we thought, we get in on Facebook and have this call to action, and we'll send them to this landing page, and then the people put in their information, and we'll send them the information they wanted. And we had this whole process to convert viewers into clients. And we did this for months. We tweaked it. We spent, a couple $100 a month on it. And where we got, over 250,000 views, and we got people into the funnel, the number of people that came out of the funnel successfully was a round number, 0. So we decided to take a different approach. And when I first started with video marketing, it was all about return on investment. We wanted to invest money and get return on investment. And when we measured our videos in that way, it was a dismal failure because we still do not have positive ROI for what we've invested. However, we did see other benefits to video. We had people talking about the videos. We got some referrals. I mean, we started seeing some traction. So we changed the goal. Instead of being return on investment, we came up with the phrase pulse over purpose. All we wanted was to show consistency, recency, to show that we're relevant, to put out timely information, to let people know who we are. And that pulse over purpose mantra has led us into, we realized when we were looking at some of the metrics that the Facebook ad campaign wasn't being very successful. But yet we had at the time, I want to say 7 subscribers to our YouTube channel. And we thought, what if we changed that purpose? What if we decided, instead of trying to convert to clients, what if our only goal was to get people consistently listening to our message? And so we changed the approach to boosting our YouTube videos. And that's when we really started seeing everything else come together.
The ROI of video is something that holds up so many advisors. And there's this common misconception that I can make one video or I can do this for 3 months and it will make a massive difference in my business. And our mantra is that any marketing initiative you make, whether it's an overhaul to your website, whether it's email marketing, whether it's paid ad campaigns, give it 18 months and set up a way to track it and have clear-cut goals. And if you don't give it time to work and continually kind of treat it like a science project that you're tweaking as you go, which you did with your Facebook ads and then redirected over to YouTube, then it's really hard to not just get frustrated with marketing and throw your hands up in the air.
Well, I mean, it's been every business student for 100 years can tell you that 80% of marketing dollars are wasted. The problem is identifying which dollars that is. A lot of this is planting seeds, and you can't get an instant return. I mean, it's great when it happens, but we did radio advertising for years before we did video marketing. And, we'd spend money on producing radio ads and putting them out on the radio. And we did pick up some clients from that. Well, the question is, what was the ROI? Well, at the time we were spending the money on it, it was probably break even at best. But those clients that we picked up from there are still clients, and they're still continuing to pay us to do work for us. So a lot of this comes into, you can't expect an instant return. At that same conference in 2023, Michael Kitces asked a question from the platform, and he asked about how much money you should spend on marketing, and he had a hypothetical situation where there was a prospect who was going to pay you X number of dollars a year, to get, if you got their business. So how much should you spend to market to that client? And the common answer in the room was about 10%, that, about 10% should go to it. And his response was, no, it should be 1 to 2x, that you should be willing to spend a year or two of revenue to get them as a client, as long as you could retain that client for 10 years.
And the retention stats are really high among financial advisors. I mean, usually if you win a client and you're a good advisor, they're not going to be looking around for a different advisor. So figuring out what that, it's called the CAC, or the client acquisition cost. Like, what does it cost you to bring in a new client? And really understanding that helps justify what you spend on marketing. We do some very unscientific surveying of every advisor we talk to about video on their first call. We give them a survey and ask them, how much do you think the average advisor spends on marketing? And we give them the range of 2%, 5%, or 10%. And it is rare that we find an advisor who thinks that the standard is 10%. But when you look outside of financial services, 10% is sort of the gold standard, the expectation for other industries.
Well, I was just doing some mental math, and I don't think we're even at 3% of total revenues of what we spend on marketing.
The vast majority of advisors are guessing 2%, not 5%. So when we started today, I teased your website visit 10x experience, and I want to pull up your website. We're down here at the bottom, but I know you are thinking about doing some updates to your website, though, to give you some mad props, I think your website is head and shoulders above a lot of folks in this space. Tell me a little bit about how from 2023 to 2024, you drove more people over here to your landing pages.
Honestly, it wasn't a planned effort. We never said our goal is to drive traffic to our website. But it ended up being the metric that we could measure that demonstrated the effect, because it was almost like a video would post and all of a sudden website visits would go up, and then it would calm down, and then a video would post, and then website visits would go up. And then all of a sudden Google Analytics started telling me, hey, there's an uptick of 30% of people asking for directions to your office, or people are Googling and trying to find out more about you. So I mean, we never set out to drive traffic to the website. It just kind of happened. And now we've learned that it's important to, it's an important metric to pay attention to. And yeah, we are thinking about making some changes to our website in terms of we want to make our videos more prominent on our website. I mean, where you are right there, how to choose a financial advisor, those are 3 longer form videos that we did early on, which is basically a 1, 2, 3. Should you work with a financial advisor? How to pick a financial advisor? And gee, are we the financial advisor that you should be considering working with? And this is a great little playlist. But we've got so much content now after doing this for 2 full years that we want to make it easier for people to find what they're looking for in video form.
Are you finding that prospects you're having conversations with have seen any of these videos?
Yes. We don't get a lot of people that we have no connection to whatsoever walking in off the street and then saying, hey, yeah, I found this random video and decided to walk in and set up an appointment with you. But it's usually the connection we didn't know about. My favorite story is we have a testimonial video from a client, and the long story is that she and her husband are very good clients, very long time clients, I mean, multiple decades. And I was looking for someone to do a testimonial video, and I asked the husband, who I do most of the work with, and he goes, oh, there's no way I would do that video for you. He goes, but my wife would. I'm like, your wife doesn't even like to have meetings with us. and he said, yeah, that's why she'd be good. And she did an entire video on why she likes working with us, because we take over the things that she doesn't want to pay attention to. Well, anyway, that video posted, and of course we tagged her on Facebook when we posted that video, and someone she used to work with had been in the market looking for a financial advisor and said, I haven't talked to this person in years, and we used to work together, but I always respected her. And if you're their financial advisor, we want you to be our financial advisor. So that was probably the biggest success story that we had directly from video of someone that we had no connection to prior, a friend of a friend, if you will. And they're still clients to this day. And I found out that they had been interviewing financial advisors for several years and had never met the person they were comfortable with. But they're not always wins. Another direct from video opportunity that we had, this one we didn't get, but again, a friend of a personal friend, a guy I have not seen in decades, but we knew each other in our college years and high school years. Anyway, we posted a video, and one person liked it, then the other person said, hey, I'm actually thinking about hiring Art. And we had some conversations, and it did not turn out to be the right fit, but it's okay. We don't have to hit a home run every time. We just want to get more at bats.
That story about the client testimonial video brings to life, really illustrates the power of social proof when someone else is saying great things about you. I mean, we can say great things about ourselves, but it comes off completely differently when it is someone who works with you who says you have had a positive impact on their life. So anyone out there who's thinking about, maybe I'll do a client testimonial video, do it. Just do it.
We are constantly talking to clients about it. And what we find is it's not that there's a lack of stories. There's a reluctance on clients' parts, and I don't blame them. If I had a medical issue, I may not want my doctor doing a testimonial on the great cure they gave me. I mean, I get it. But we do have, and we have some, I think, clients that are close to saying yes. As they see more videos, they're becoming more comfortable with it. They know that we're not going to embarrass them, that it's going to be done professionally. And that's where Idea Decanter comes in. Because, by the way, I don't know which end of the camera to hold where. I mean, this is not like I have some great technical expertise. I don't have to worry about the scripting. The short form videos, we don't even script. I just start blathering, which I do pretty well. And somehow you guys are able to edit it into something that's usable.
Well, thank you for the kind words about the process. Let me ask you for one last question, a word of advice that you would share with an advisor who's thinking about video. Any misstep you made or thing you have learned along the 2+ year journey you've been on that could be a shortcut for another advisor?
Um, I guess the advice is you have to do something. I mean, you have to do something to market in this business. Otherwise, you are just in the camouflage in the woods and no one's ever going to find you, right? So you might as well try video. But the real advice is you don't have to do it on your own. Find somebody else it's their field of expertise and let them do it for you. No different than our clients come to us for investment and financial planning. We don't know how to do their job. I don't know how to do your job. And, it's if you try to, you can't be good at everything. And if you're a good financial advisor, you're probably no good at video.
Take it from Art. If Art can do it, you can do it too. Art doesn't even know which end of the camera to point at himself. If you need help building authority and growing your practice with video, that is what we do at Idea Decanter. And check us out. Oh, one more thing. If you're not already part of Idea Decanter's Real Finfluencer community, now is your chance to join us. Head to ideadecanter.com/join, and you'll be in. You'll get early access to advisor video tips, invites to exclusive events, and behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find on Google or even on ChatGPT. Whether you're just video curious or already knee-deep in content creation, this is the place to grow your influence with video. Don't miss out. And thanks so much for listening to The Real Finfluencers.